What is the Purpose of Education? By Jarrod Webb. Within this degree, one of my course tutors explained that most people want to become teachers because they fitted into the schooling system as a student, that people stick with a system that suits them. Upon hearing this, I was scared. You see, I would not say school suited me. I often did poorly and was in trouble at times. I felt understood by teachers and even looked down upon. I felt something different within me than what I was projecting at school, but I never felt it. I could bring that inner part out. I didn't know how. I felt my role in school was predetermined by those around me, teachers and peers. It was not until after high school and into working life that I found the freedom to be myself. But then when I went on my practical experience as a pre-service teacher, I was exposed to this teaching mold that I felt I would have to fit into, and so I wondered if I could even be a teacher in a system that does not suit me. I stepped into my teaching degree because I fell in love with education. When I was 17, I inadvertently ended up as an early years educator, a career I have been in for over 10 years now. It was there I found a system that suited me and enabled me to be myself, and where my views on the purpose of education began to develop. I learnt to build relationships and to understand identity, knowledge, skills, and capacities of the individual child, from which I could better support them educationally and developmentally. Curriculum in the early years can be born of any simple or complex happenings that occur in the child's day, whether planned or unplanned. Through our relationship with the child, we can also better pick out the significant and meaningful experiences that should be extended in the learning program. As an educator, it also provided me a sense of freedom I did not know I was missing. If a child took an activity or an experience in an unforeseen way, using their creativity or becoming interested in a specific element, I was able to explore and extend those experiences alongside that child to continue to engage that interest, but also educate them to help them develop it. Fiesta speaks of teachers being able to use their own judgment to respond to what education is needed in the context of what we want to be educated. I feel I had that freedom of judgment in a very open-minded educational setting. When I look into schools, I feel that freedom lost. In schools, I see a highly political system designed to serve the economy. I do not argue early years enters are free from this. They are found to have their own implications but need to exist to serve political purpose. In schools, curriculum is highly structured and organized around general conventions such as age and subjects. In their early development, mass schooling was influenced by social and political authorities who sought to govern citizens. Practices such as discipline, correcting, regulation, ordering, and normalization became standard in schools. As this Western way of governance grew globally and became dominant, other cultures were forced to adhere or risk failure in schooling and in society. Even here in Australia, students who are not from the dominant culture must figure out how to navigate the hidden curriculum in schools to succeed. Those underrepresented groups are either corrupted to set aside identity and assimilate to find accomplishment in mainstream society, or othered and looked down upon from that society. Furthermore, the social and cultural inequities in the dominant society are interrelated to the qualifications the educational system aims to produce. Nationally governing educational bodies then point out achievement gaps between the dominant culture and those underrepresented and seek ways to fix them so they can become the citizens they so desire them to be. There is clearly too much value placed on qualifying students in mainstream education to become working cogs in the economy, and socialization in schools has been corrupted to train students to take the form of that cog so to fit into society's mechanized economy. If schools are cog factories, how can we find freedom and emancipation in such a context? How can this be the purpose of education? The Estes has defined purpose in education. Views on qualification, socialization, and subjectification need to be specified. It has been outlined what current governing bodies of education seem to value in education, but I am not a factory worker, I am an educator, and I believe education qualifies students as divergent thinkers who are skilled for a united global climate, to socialize students into intercultural capable humans, and to free their individualism from oppressive governing powers and be subjects unto themselves.